Thanks for staying with us on the conversation. We move straight to Sudan, where the signing of the deal to put Sudan back on the road to civilian rule has now been delayed twice, as issues around military integration and reform remain unresolved. In a statement, Sudan's Forces of Freedom and Change (FFC) coalition, which has been representing civilians in internationally mediated talks with Sudan's military, said that discussions on military restructuring had made progress but not concluded. On Thursday, Sudan witnessed one of its largest mass demonstrations seen this year to mark the 4th anniversary of a 2019 sit-in that led to the overthrow of longtime autocratic ruler Omar Hassan al-Bashir. Sudan has been plunged into chaos after a military coup led by the country's top general, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, removed a government in October 2021, upending its short-lived transition to democracy. And now join us for this conversation, we have Abdelrahim Abayazid, a political activist. He joins us from London. Thank you so much for joining us on the conversation.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, so it's been 3 months. I mean, we've had protests since 2019 for the removal of al-Bashir, and then we had the military coup in 2021. What are the factors when, at the moment, we thought that we would see a civilian transition derailing this transition to democracy in Sudan?
Okay, it's actually the demonstration yesterday, and this is just like as a continuation of demonstrations or objections to what is going on in Sudan. It is not because of the delay of the signing of the agreement, as you mentioned. It is because people, they don't want the military and Janjaweed, the so-called speedy forces or support forces. They don't want them there at all in the political arena. So Sudanese people is against the whole agreement as it is. So it is not because of the delaying of signing it, because there's so many things. This is not one of the goals of the revolution of December 9th, when it is started in 2018, continued to 2019, and it is still going on. People, they are not happy. Sudanese people, they are not with the participation of the military and the militias in the government. Although there is international community supporting this, there is the forces, the so-called forces of freedom taking over and joining the military, but the people of Sudan is against what is going on. That's why they're in the streets. The Memorial Day of April 1985 plus the 2019. This is when the sit down started in 2019, and the whole thing that when al-Bashir being removed from power by the power of the Sudanese people. That's why the people, most of them were on the streets, or most of the Sudanese cities and towns, they were in the streets yesterday. But the reason was not because the signing of the agreement not being done, or because there was no conclusion. And this was predicted from day one. This will not be going on, because people of Sudan took the Bashir out, and the so-called National Congress Party out of the government or out of the power, because they are against the military, because they want freedom, because they want peace, because they want justice. And now sitting with this military figures like al-Burhan or Hemeti, or the political or other political supporters of the regime, the Bashir regime, means that there is no justice. And as we can see, that they are being given immunity, that nobody will ask them in the future. Nobody will ask about the massacre of the what's happened in June 2019 in Ramadan 2019. 19, where a lot of young people and revolutionaries being killed. Nobody is to ask whom they were in at the head of the government at that time, or head of the forces, security forces.
Yeah.
One of them is Al-Burhan and Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, the Janjaweed militia. And nobody is to ask about also the genocide, Darfur genocide, and all those people have been killed. And before the coup of October 2021, 25th of October 2021, till now it's more than 130 young people, revolutionaries, peaceful demonstrators being killed.
Yeah.
So this is like giving, and what is shameful about this? That's the international community, like European Union, like USA, like the African Union are supporting what is going on. They want people to. They're even giving immunity for the military, that they're not going to be asked. They're not going to be criminalized for what they have been doing. And
Okay,
this
now,
is, yes.
Now, Abdelrahim, you've mentioned a whole lot of things there, and that is indicting the international community for wanting all of this. And I know from even previous interviews, one of the things that Sudanese people have been wanting is that they want a total civilian transition without the military interference. So the question is, who exactly is in support of this? How come the military is involved in all of this? And what have the political parties, what have coalition governments or civil society organizations done to make sure that the military is not part of this negotiation?
Who's against this? Who's against that the military not to be in power? I mean, most of the Sudanese people, that are against that. I mean, like, there's people whom they are looking or are asking about total change in Sudan. I don't want to say radical change, but total change in Sudan to lead Sudan forward. That's with a political or a civilian, total civilian government, without any participation, because participation of the military or the militia in this in the future of Sudan, or in the political future of Sudan. So there is trade unions, there is parties, there is the people whom they are on the streets, the main people. I mean, like, because the change in Sudan is not coming just a nominated change or anything that is not deep. This is this change is people wanted total change in their life, in their where is the government, elected government, where is the Sudanese people have a say in their how is the country should be run, not to be using force. Although there is the Sudanese revolution started with peaceful demonstrations and peaceful acts, but it's been I mean, like, this is what was happening. We were expecting the world or the international community, where is the democracy there, like the African countries or the European countries or USA, to support this peaceful movement, not to support this type of solution, which is or this type of resolution, which proposals, which is not totally democratic, not totally civilian. There is no mix of power in America or in France or in United Kingdom between the military and civilians. It is totally civilian government, elected civilian government. Even now in Nigeria, it is there is election. Nobody is interfering there. We don't care about the other Arab countries, whereas they're accepting this, whereas there is no democracy at all. But we care about our people. We care about how our country should be run, or must be run by democratic elections, democratic institutions to go for the future, and plus the control of resources under the Sudanese civilian governments. Now the resources are under the military and are under the militia, and this is why the Sudanese people are against this. You asked me about parties. There is no one in Sudan. There is no one party who's leading this, but there is parties, there is movement, there is the youth whom they are on the streets now. If you can see, all these people are against what is happening now. They don't want the military. There is a communist party. There is Ba'ath party. There is the trade unions. There is the committees, neighboring committees, which they started and they organized this. They have their own approach, which is giving more solutions to the main problems. How people, how Sudan need to be, or how the people of Sudan want their country to be running, or how they want it to be ruled.
Now, Abdelrahim, you've mentioned a whole lot of things, and this protest has been going on since 2021. How long would this protest continue? Because you're saying that they're not even happy with this deal, this transition deal that the military is putting forward. So are these protests going to continue until the military steps back? And do you think that the military will actually step back from this transition deal?
The military, if there is no support from the international community and there is no some guarantees and sharing of promises of sharing of powers from some of the civilian power, like the forces of freedom, that they said to them that there is no problem. They will not stand these demonstrations. And we have 1985, we have 1964, we have 2019. Like these days, our people, removed al-Bashir from power. Al-Bashir had more power than these people now having. Al-Burhan has no any, apart from al-Bashir supporters, but they don't have any power to stand people. The thing that it is quite clear, they are using forces, they are using live ammunition to kill people whom they are peacefully demonstrating. The country can stop and stand still. People can object, people can do so many things, and we know that the power is not in the military's hand. It's not with weapons. It's with the people movement, with the people determination that they wanted to change. They wanted a new country. They wanted a civilian country. They wanted a civilian government. They wanted a country that participate on the for the peace of the international community, for the world, but not a place where military rules and military sell the resources of Sudan with the cheap prices and just benefit the people whom they are in the power.
So in other words, Abdelrahim, what you're calling for is a total civilian transition, not with the military involved. We'll definitely have conversations concerning this, because what we saw before was that this protest was due to delay of the transition deal. But from what you're saying now, these protests are because the military is involved in this deal. Thank you so much, Abdelrahim. We'll definitely follow discussions going on in Sudan, and looking forward to a total civilian transition to democracy. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.